coronavirus. And coronavirus is one of a group, a family of viruses called coronaviruses that are related that we see in dogs and cats and wildlife. And the feeling is that the coronavirus that we're dealing with is one that probably came over from animals over in China. And we've had several of these over the few years. The SARS virus back a few years ago was believed to, which is also a coronavirus, is believed to have started as a mutated virus from one of the animals. So a lot of these viruses have different properties, and we have like coronavirus in dogs is one that oftentimes will cause some vomiting and diarrhea. It's usually self-limiting. It's generally not a serious disease, and it's one that there is a vaccine against, but it's kind of the thing that I feel is a vaccine looking for a disease. The disease itself doesn't seem to have much effect on the dogs. It's not a fatal disease unless it's combined with something else like parvovirus. So the concern with the coronavirus is it transmissible to our animals? And for the most part, the consensus is no. They have had some animals that have tested positive for the virus on or in around them. They've done some swabs and picked up traces of the virus, and there's been some concern about whether or not the dogs can pass it on. So dogs and cats can't catch the disease, again, to the best of our knowledge, and this is something that, as of a couple days ago, is a general consensus. However, they can, on their fur, transmit the disease. They can actually carry it, what's called a fomite, F-O-M-I-T-E, which is an inanimate object that carries the disease from one source to another area. So they can act as a fomite to bring the disease in contact with somebody else. So same kind of logical things that we do with, close encounters with ourselves. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. The preventative types of things that CDC is telling us to do as far as preventing infections in ourselves. Obviously, we have to think about these animals, going in for vet visits and things like that. And there's some guidelines that have been set down, which is very similar to what the government says as far as humans. If your animal is sick and you're not sick and you need to take your dog to the vet, you call your vet and see, if they're seeing dogs and how they are arranging it, whether you go to the parking lot and call them and they come out and take the dog and do what they need to do and bring the dog back, or whether you actually go into the clinic. Here, we're still open. We have basically transferred all of our non-essential appointments until later in May and June for now. That may change. We don't know yet. But we're not seeing non-essential types of problems. So the business is cut down. We're seeing sick dogs. But as long as the humans are healthy, and what we've done is try and space things out so that we don't have more than a couple people in the building at a time, other than the staff, so that we minimize the chance for transmission if somebody is sick. And we talk to the people on the phone and recommend that, if they don't feel well, have somebody else bring your dog in. Again, your dog can carry the virus on it, so we take the normal precautions of washing hands. You can use soap and water. You can use disinfectant wipes to wipe the dogs down as well, but the same type of precautions that we'd use in dealing with a sick person. Mm-hmm. The likelihood of transmission with dogs is much lower, but it still can happen. So, if you're sick, maybe someone else can bring the dog in for you. It's not as high a risk. You should obviously let the veterinarian know if you need to take them in that, that you're sick and that someone else is going to be bringing the dog in. But